Andrew Schulz just released his full 1 hour comedy special for free on YouTube, and some of his fans are actually not happy with that. When I first saw the negative comments about it, I thought it was a bit of an odd response, but I also get where they're coming from. The main concern, or the most common negative comment that I see is people complaining about them paying $15 and then now being available to watch for free, which we'll talk about today and see if Andrew Schulz is on the wrong or if it's maybe just a natural reaction to him doing something completely new in the comedy world. So let's take a look. As we all know, Andrew Schulz has been at the forefront of comedians using social media to completely blow up their careers and build a huge fan base. He was actually one of the first ones to release his crowd work or comedy bits on YouTube for free and for everybody to watch. And keep in mind, this was an insane idea back in the day, because even to this day, there are many stand-up comics out there that essentially do the same act for years and years and years. So to them, putting up their stand-up on YouTube would just be career-ending. He also did tailored content specifically for Instagram videos during the whole pandemic back then, and completely blew up. Completely blew up, and even got a Netflix deal out of it, which was pretty cool thing to see back in the day when he was talking about getting rejected by everybody and now finally getting his deal. And now he is also the standard for what crazy good editing should look like in the comedy world. And I know a lot of you might be thinking, hey, self-releasing a special or releasing it on YouTube is not a new idea. Louis C.K. is clearly the biggest one to ever do it, but he did way more than that. The business move that he did has way more layers than just, self-releasing something on YouTube. Also, before we continue, if you can please hit the like button and subscribe to the channel. It helps out a ton, and most of you guys that watch my videos are not subscribed, so please subscribe to the channel. I'd really appreciate that. Thank you. So this whole thing started back when Andrew Schulz announced that he was self-releasing his comedy special behind a paywall for $15 on his website. At first, he mentioned that the plan was to sell it to a streamer, the big ones like Netflix or whatever, but that they wanted him to cut out some jokes that were a little bit too over the top. He thought that he had worked so hard on those jokes, and he was getting positive reactions and feedback from the people at the shows, so he just decided to, I'm not going to sell it. I'm going to take the hit and buy the comedy special back from the streamer and just self-release it and try to do something with it. From a business perspective, what that means is essentially they spent a lot of money over the past year or so shooting the special, working on the special, editing, and all that stuff. And now he was not guaranteed to get that money from a big streamer. He essentially bought the comedy special back. So now all that money that he had spent is out of his pocket, whether it is a business loan or straight up cash from his bank account. It is still money out of his pocket that is not guaranteed to get back. It could very much just fail, and then he could lose all that money and be in a bad position. At that point, you really have only two options. You either self-release it the Louis C.K. way behind a paywall, or release it on YouTube. The truth is, you can't really go the Louis C.K. route because Andrew Schulz is not as big as Louis C.K. was when he was releasing his own content on his own website behind a paywall. He's not that big, and he doesn't have that massive of a fan base, so shelving the special behind a paywall would have just been game over, I think. So that leads us to the next option, which is putting it on YouTube. As a business move, putting it on YouTube and just hoping for the best is not a good idea. We all know that literally anything could happen on YouTube, and then it would just be a bad situation if the special, for some reason, just got shut down. Now, I'm bringing this up again because it's important to understand the amount of money that was spent on this special is giant compared to what everybody else is doing, or even what he was doing a few years ago when he was releasing the crowd work and all those bits. You don't really need that much production. You need a few good cameras, great audio, and a decent stage, and then you can pump out a pretty decent comedy special. He went above and beyond and really gave everybody a crazy show. Naturally, with all that money spent, you need to try and make a profit, or at the very least, make your money back. And this is when Andrew Schulz's brilliant move comes into play to save the day. Because what Andrew Schulz did, he essentially used his fan base, and I'm not saying used in a negative way. I'm just saying he used his loyal fan base to test out if he could self-release an uncut, raw, and unfiltered, uncensored comedy special and some profit, or at the very least, make his money back without having to rely on a huge streamer. He did that by putting up the special up for pre-order and essentially test out what kind of reaction he was going to get from his fans. Let's say, worst case scenario, He didn't get a lot of feedback. Not a lot of people, pre-order the special, and it wasn't going so well. He could just pivot, edit out the jokes, and then sell it to a streamer, or make it more ad friendly to try to recoup his money. But the complete opposite happened. He saw that he was getting a lot of attention, a lot of positive feedback, and a lot of his fans were pre-ordering the special, which meant that he could make his money back and then potentially even more. And then it finally got to a point where he could release the special fully for free and uncut, uncensored, and not having to worry about the risk of it not policing the YouTube algorithm. And that's actually pretty cool. If you think about it, his fans, the most loyal fans, essentially helped crowdfund the special so that everybody else could watch it for free. And they could watch the uncensored, raw, uncut, all the funniest jokes that he wanted to put in there are there. So that's actually pretty awesome in a way. And I understand why people may be upset. I know it feels like you paid for something for no reason, but that is like you going to a store, buying a physical DVD of your favorite movie, and then finding out that that same movie is for free, available for free on YouTube or other streamer websites. I mean, that's just how the business is. You're not buying the exclusive rights to that piece of content. You're just buying it. You're just paying a price to see it at the moment that it's available. Now, 2 months later, that content is available for free, but it has 3 very nasty commercials. And if you don't have YouTube Premium, that's double the ads. So a 2-month delay and many ads. I think that's worth it for $15. To be fair, the hate is minimum. Most people are actually very happy that he released it for free. And a lot of people are actually even donating more money through the YouTube thanks feature. So it's pretty wild. The special is also doing dummy numbers. It's over at 1 million views in only 24 hours. The jokes, I'm not going to get into that. I think he had some really funny jokes. But stand-up comedy specials are very tricky. In my opinion, stand-up is a true art form. Some people might argue that stand-up is actually the laziest form of comedy. I'd have to disagree with that, but you can let me know what you think in the comments below. So overall, I don't think people should be upset that the special is now available for free on YouTube. I think it's a good thing. And last thing I wanted to mention was that some comments were actually calling out that it appeared that the show was actually put together from 4 different shows. And yes, that's how comedy specials are done. You have to do minimum 2 shows, up to 4 shows, or however many you want, and then you take the best parts from each show, the funniest parts, the best reactions, the best performance, all of that stuff. I think it's very interesting when it comes to Schultz's special, because Shifty, who helped them edit the special, he actually did a podcast and explained, the entire or most of the entire process and his experience working with Schultz. He mentioned that in one of the tapings, in one of the shows, he actually forgot to put the white smoke in the background, the smoke that was behind Schultz. And so they had to literally go frame by frame and digitally add fake smoke to every frame so that it could match with all the other shots. Basically, there is fake CGI smoke in some of the shots on that special. If you made it this far, please like the video, subscribe to the channel, leave a comment below, let me know what you think, and again, subscribe to the channel. We will be uploading videos at least 3 times a week, if not more. But that is all we have for today. See ya.